Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. Jerome Powell was just on 60 Minutes last night. Jerome Powell was talking about the U.S. national debt. This one coming from the Bitcoin therapist here on Twitter. I'm not going to play you guys this clip for copyright reasons, but I am just going to kind of round up these points here. Basically, what he was saying is we're on an unsustainable path, and I don't think that that's a surprise to anyone really. Debt is growing faster than the economy, and we're borrowing from future generations. The debt projected in 30 years, $144 trillion. I think we're only at about 34 trillion today. And then the Bitcoin therapist just kind of adding his opinion in here. We need Bitcoin now more than ever. And, whether that's Bitcoin, whether that is, another cryptocurrency like XRP, or some of the other altcoins in the space. Of course, we are in a spec market, so utility is going to be something, useful for the long term, holding a portion of your cryptocurrency for the long term. But we also want to be selling some cryptocurrency now in this bull run to make profit within the next 12 months or so. I'm opening up my portfolio at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. If you guys are interested in seeing what I'm doing, I'm still toying with the numbers. And I'm trying to gauge, what the percentage is of coins that I'm going to be keeping versus coins that I'm going to be selling. Of course, you can find all that out. I am only charging $5 a month, and I'm opening up my entire portfolio to you guys. The $10,000 plus portfolio that I purchased specifically for this bull run, but also my legacy portfolio, my XRP, Bitcoin, Solana, HBAR, VeChain, all that fun stuff. You can find it at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. So this is going to be an interesting bull run. Of course, the regulation is playing a large part in this too. Fred Krueger also mentioned this. Okay, one reason the average American doesn't have much Bitcoin is that the average American is actually quite poor. Most people never manage to accumulate more than $10,000 in savings, excluding retirement accounts. The average number is quite different from the median, reflecting the fact that 10% of Americans own 90% of the stock market. The good news is that Bitcoin ETFs are perfectly designed for that 10%. They fit a simple narrative of digital gold. If $100 billion out of the 30 plus trillion managed by the top asset managers bite, we get to a $200,000 Bitcoin, no problem. So he's bringing up a little bit of math here. Let me just bring up the Bitcoin chart. And quite frankly, 200,000 I think sounds like a lofty goal for this bull run. But let me throw a Fibonacci here on Bitcoin just to kind of show you guys where we're at right now. So we hit the 0.618, and if you guys have been following my videos, you know that at this point, we're looking to retrace now for a couple of months, and we've already seen that. We've gone back down to the 0.5, and quite frankly, even if we go down back to the 0.382, I really wouldn't be surprised. But what he is suggesting is that ultimately we are on track for perhaps a $200,000 Bitcoin, and that would bring us very close to the 3.618. So guys, there's still a lot of time in this bull run, but now more than ever, is it important to think about what you hold, think about what you're going to be trading this bull run, and think about how much of your cryptocurrency you might want to keep for the long term. And so, for my spec portfolio, I've chosen some coins that I think are going to be high flyers, also holding some utility coins. Again, you can find all that at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. Going to keep moving along. I don't think this is going to end well, guys. Merlin Digital Asset Invest posted this. All this means money coming in, and when this ends, a crash will come in 2025. So he's putting a prediction on there. 2025, getting any value left into digital assets. When people have more than enough money, will people like a calculated gamble? We'll see one of the biggest wealth transfers in history. So he's retweeting out Mark Moss's tweet thread here, okay? Here's a few predictions you don't need a crystal ball to see. The government isn't going to stop spending like a madman. Here we go. They can't stop overspending for a few reasons. They now have over $1 trillion in interest payments alone, and it's an election year, and so the Treasury is going to do whatever it takes to stay out of a recession, including forcing the Fed to lower rates. Why inflation is going to soar, though? The Fed has to keep rates where they are at for any hope of first slowing inflation, also building trust back in the dollar, even if that means a recession. But the Fed is doomed. Why is the Fed doomed? Well, Yellen wants and will force us into QE, quantitative easing. Simply put, QE means more printing. More printing means more inflation, possibly hyperinflation. Here is the good news, though. This is a perfect storm of clear predictions. Again, no crystal ball needed. They have to make these moves, okay? Because it is an election year, guys. Are you looking at the right data, he says? And if you're looking at the right data, you can clearly see there's 3 sectors that are going to pop off because of this. Don't sleep on this perfect storm of opportunity, he says. And if you're looking at the data, okay, it's the same tweet there. So there's a perfect storm. They have to make these moves. Okay, it looks like this is just repeating over again. But I think you guys get the point here. It's all kind of, you don't need a crystal ball to see what the heck is going on. You can see what the government has been doing and can probably predict what they will be doing in the coming months and maybe a couple of years before we do see the proverbial crap hit the fan. So wanted to thank Merlin Digital Asset Invest just for posting that. Guys, I also happen to see this one brought to me by my friend Dodler for XRP here on Twitter. Check this out, a tweet from the Vigilant Fox. An interview with Edward Dowd, okay, he was a former employee at BlackRock. The next 6 months for the establishment is very precarious, warns former asset manager Edward Dowd. If they collapse the economy before the election, it's because they lost control. So we have a lot of paying attention to do before November. Listen to this.
So your assumption is that they're going to try and hold off until the election. That may be the way that they go, or they could absolutely collapse everything right before the election as a reason to, bring in some sort of an emergency. Would you put that past them?
Well, I'm not in the room, but if they collapse it before the election, it's because they lost control. Right now, they're sticking fingers in the dike. The credit markets are there's credit issues in commercial real estate. Regional bank stocks are cratering. The Federal Reserve is pausing interest rates, which if you look back in history, after every one of these big bubbles they blow, once they pivot and pause and start lowering interest rates, that's when the real economic damage comes. So we're right on the precipice of this. Also, money supply M2 went negative for the first time since 1930 in November of 2022. And there's usually an 18-month lag on monetary changes actually impacting the economy. So 18 months will be May. So the next 6 months for the establishment is very precarious. They're going to try to pump this up and keep it going. The jobs report in the U.S. just came out today. Anybody worth their salt has called this the most fraudulent jobs report we've ever seen. It's a joke. It's a complete joke. It's literally fraud is now on the government balance sheets. They're cooking the books.
Ouch. Scathing review of the government and their balance sheet, cooking the books because the jobs report, I haven't actually seen the jobs report, but apparently it doesn't look great. Likely overinflating jobs and what the economy is currently looking like. So wanted to thank Dodler, of course, for sending me that, and the Vigilant Fox for posting that. Now, Metal Lawman also mentioned this. Okay, guys, Donald Trump really is the wild card in this. If Donald Trump wins, what happens to Gary Gensler? Because the SEC is also a part of this too. SEC chairmen normally submit their resignation promptly after a presidential election results in a change of party. After the November 2020 election, Jay Clayton, a Trump appointee, promptly resigned both as SEC chair and as the commissioner in order to A, give incoming President Biden the opportunity to name his own SEC chairman, and B, make room for the traditional 3-1 majority of commissioners in favor of the party holding the presidency. So I didn't realize this was how it traditionally went, but apparently it goes this way. Gary Gensler's 5-year term as an SEC commissioner would naturally expire in 2026. So in the event a Republican or RFK Jr. wins in November of 2024, the question becomes this: will Gensler follow long-standing SEC tradition and promptly submit his resignation? If Trump were to be the Republican nominee and win, one could imagine some resistance to norms of behaviors by appointed officials like Gensler. I don't recall any situation where a president has to resort to removing an SEC commissioner for cause in a change in administration scenario. Why would this matter, though? He asks, I expect this will be a significant amount of, or there will be a significant amount of litigation pending against crypto firms by the end of this year. A new chairperson, however, with a 3-2 Republican majority, could change positions the SEC has taken in crypto litigation, including A, promptly settling cases on reasonable terms, and B, filing outright dismissals of cases where the SEC under Gensler has taken positions that conflict with existing securities laws. If Hester Peirce were to be selected as interim chairperson, she would already be fully up to speed on all these cases and could relatively quickly execute a course of correction. He goes on to say, and this is a great tweet thread, I gotta say, if you guys want to jump in here, I will link this in the description of the video. He goes on to say, it is an unsettled question of law whether a president must have good cause to remove a sitting SEC commissioner. There is no statute spelling out circumstances under which a president remove a commissioner, and the Supreme Court has not addressed the question directly. For anyone interested in a deeper dive, you can click on this link here. So again, I will link this in the description for you guys. But Gary Gensler, guys, going to play a key role in this if he stays, if he goes. So even, Forbes is noticing that, crypto, it's going to be very, very dependent on who comes into office next. While the crypto vote was a non-factor in 2020, it is primed to play an outsized role this November. Do you feel this? This is coming from Sam Lyman here on Twitter. And again, a Forbes article, why crypto could swing the 2024 election. The economy, immigration, climate change, abortion. Elections hinge on hot-button issues, but a new wedge issue is emerging in American politics, one that is poised to turn out millions of voters to the polls, one that scrambles party lines and demographic boundaries, one that could well determine the outcome of the next presidential election, and of course, that is crypto. So, this whole article talks about, some of these factors here, the rise of the crypto voter. Of course, many of us in the crypto space would definitely vote for a crypto forward president. Courting the crypto vote, the key to the White House, questioning this, right? And again, I'm not going to go into all these details, but an interesting article here, I got to say, I will link it in the description. Biden, Bitcoin, and young voters. Let me just read you guys a little bit of this. Now, here's the irony. Despite the political upside of embracing Bitcoin and crypto, the two parties' leading contenders, Joe Biden and Donald Trump, have mostly stayed away from it. In the case of Biden, he appears disinterested in engaging with this cohort of voters altogether. Indeed, many of his policies have alienated digital asset holders. Last year, for example, President Biden accused wealthy crypto investors of exploiting tax loopholes supported by MAGA Republicans. Meanwhile, his top cop at the Security and Exchange Commission, Gary Gensler, has sought to subdue crypto exchanges and protocols with a regulation by enforcement approach that has been decried by multiple members of Congress. So a lot of moving parts to this, guys. Is this Trump's big opportunity? By simply embracing Bitcoin and the values of decentralization, Trump could poach pro-crypto Democrats and independents that would have otherwise voted for Biden. And he could make a play for the 1.9 million people in swing states like New Hampshire, Nevada, Ohio, and Pennsylvania for whom crypto is a top concern. In 2020, Trump lost 3 of these 4 states by razor-thin margins, but he could win them back by catering to crypto voters. So all very, very interesting possibilities here, I think. Wanted to thank Sam Lyman for posting that. Now, guys, Gary Gensler, Donald Trump, it's got to be a perfect storm in order for crypto to succeed in the United States. Which brings me to this next set of tweets here. I got to say, are these predictions? Is this just a coincidence? XRP here on Twitter posting this. David Schwartz deleted this post. Who is this guy? Now, notice where he's talking. This is the Satoshi Roundtable, okay? The Roundtable here, and for those of you guys who do not know, I believe that is, Bruce Fenton. Now, XRP posting this while retweeting out the Bearableguy riddle of the Roundtable and the night, things that make you go, Now, who is Bruce Fenton? I've done a few videos highlighting Bruce Fenton in the past. So here it is, XRP drops, Bruce Fenton, cypherpunk, and co-founder of the Satoshi Roundtable. The rumor is that Gary Gensler is being gunning for something like a Treasury Secretary job. This is not the first time we've heard of this. Listen to what Bruce Fenton had to say in this interview here. Also, it's chaired by a presidential appointed person who in this case, I think is running for office somehow. It kills me about Gary Gensler is he taught a course at MIT in 2018 on blockchain. And I took the whole thing because there's 24 hours on YouTube. And he's surprisingly knowledgeable about this space. Like he's really smart. And yet he seems to now have a completely different agenda and really slowed this down. What are your thoughts on that? And do you think a new president will just potentially appoint someone different and we could have a completely new view of blockchain from Washington?
Yeah, rumor is that he's been gunning for something like a Treasury Secretary job, and certainly that's a theory, but a fact is that he's definitely close with Elizabeth Warren. There's no doubt about that, and she has a heavy amount of influence, so that could be why he has his anti-innovation stance. I think a new president would help a lot for sure. If it looks like it's going to be Biden-Trump now is going to be the race, maybe RFK, but if it's somebody other than Biden, then I think that would be good. Biden has been, very. I don't even like to say Biden because it's not really him. It's the Biden administration and the Biden handlers because he's not making any decision at all. He can't even decide what to eat.
Well, we'll end it there. He can't even decide what to eat. Bruce Fenton right on the money. Stating here too that Gary Gensler is very close to Elizabeth Warren, who does have a heavy amount of influence as well. I also wanted to bring up this clip Also, another one from XRP drops here. I have it up here. Kathy Wood from ARK Invest echoing this same sentiment. Listen to this.
I don't think Chairman Gensler will remain at the SEC, whoever is elected. I think he has aspirations for political, some kind of political appointment. So he may go for that reason if Joe Biden is reelected, or he may go, he will go altogether if a Republican is nominated.
So Gary Gensler's future at the SEC is not looking good, according to heavy hitters in crypto and finance. I also want to know why David Schwartz decided to delete this tweet from quite recently, February the 2nd, 2024. Is there some kind of a connection here to the round table the night? Bearableguy, perhaps? The Christmas 2022 riddle, where the knight had a seat at the round table. Does it connect to Gary Gensler and his reign at the SEC? XRP Drops also bringing this up. Another clip of Brad Garlinghouse just recently at Davos 2024. Also commenting on U.S. regulation for Ripple and XRP. Listen to this.
I'll also give Commissioner Pham props. You know, she spent time going around the world and meeting with a lot of these other regulators, where this is not rocket science. You know, you could probably type into Sam's OpenAI, how do you regulate the U.S. and get a better answer than we're getting from the SEC. Maybe. I haven't tried that, actually. I should try it.
Sounds like Brad wants to try out as a stand-up comic there. But I mean, quite frankly, it's unfortunately, it's becoming less and less of a joke and more reality. The fact that, the government, the SEC, I guess I should specify, has been so inefficient at drafting crypto regulation and understanding cryptocurrency to the capacity that they should. And, even Bruce Fenton said, it wasn't Bruce Fenton, it was the interviewer here who said, Gary Gensler should be quite knowledgeable on this, yet he has proven time and time again that he isn't. So has his fate been sealed? Is this what Bearableguy perhaps was talking about here, or at least another part of the clue? Now, I also have this, guys, from Ashley Prosper. Noticing this tweet, guys, David Schwartz posted this back on October 24th, 2023. The leapfrog, frog on a lily pad. The year before, guys, David Schwartz joked, or was it a joke? When should I flip the switch? February 29th, February 30th, or February 31st? Just show me the results. But hinting perhaps at a leap year, February the 29th, guys. In 2024, this is a leap year. This month does have 29 days. So could we get an announcement of perhaps Gary Gensler resigning before that? I mean, maybe he'll stick it out before then. I guess we could get any kind of an announcement, maybe to suggest, Democrat support waning. Will we see a shuffle? Will somebody take over? Could something even happen to Gary Gensler? All things that make you go, But the most mind-blowing thing, I guess I gotta say, was this Jimmy Valley posting this truly fascinating. And guys, this makes me think, could we be in a simulation? Dark Defender here posting this. I've decoded below last night while I was checking the volume trend of XRP. Check this out here, guys. Okay, this is just the volume trend of XRP. Volume looked like a sonograph, the graph of a sound. Okay, and when you convert this with AI, I don't know if you guys are familiar with waveforms, but you can check out the volume. So this is XRPL volume, or volume for XRP. And when you convert it with AI and convert it into a waveform, voila. The sound look familiar to you? I don't know if this was made up or what, but listen to this. Did AI really make that up? Is the volume of XRP really converting to what sounds like ripples and waves? Are we going to see the switch flipped on January the 29th, 2024? And could Gary Gensler resign in a remarkable fashion? I don't know. All things to consider, but that's just my opinion. I want to hear what you guys think, and please subscribe to the channel, guys. I'm trying to hit 100,000 subscribers by March the 31st. I'm going to be giving away 2 Ledger Nanos. One of you guys could be a lucky Ledger Nano winner, so please subscribe to the channel. You got to be subscribed to be eligible. Please like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.